Hello friends, today I am happy to be announcing that I am officially releasing the M5 model for the general public. It's exciting. This is one of my best solutions I've ever made and it still holds up great to this day. This is a generalized mermaid diagramming focused surrogate model that instantly bootstraps any LLM, large language model, into a sophisticated system for general organization, mapping, task management, project management, everything you could think of, just with a simple copy paste and entering a single command. All it takes to get started working with this model and taking advantage of it. I went ahead and made a GitHub repository so it would make it easy for everyone to go around and to explore different files and all the different stuff. But the M5 itself is just one file, all right? It's just a big giant prompt, okay? It's 100,000 tokens about. Probably a little bit less, probably a little bit more closer to 90,000 right now. But either way, it's only going to really fit and work inside two frontier models right now, which is Claude and Gemini, okay? Chat doesn't have a large enough context window to be able to handle it. I wish it did, but unfortunately it doesn't. So just keep that in mind, all right? You're going to want to use Claude if you can. Claude's going to be the absolute best for this. I made this specifically for Claude. I released this originally when they released their artifact system and the new artifact meta prompt that Claude uses for that now. And I designed the entire thing to build upon that to inject a lot of advanced behavior. So without further ado, let me go through the GitHub real quick, and then I will do a quick example of bootstrapping M5, and then you should have plenty of material here to go through everything and start leveraging this. So I'm excited. Let's get started. All right, so if you go through this page, you'll get a lot of good information, but I want to say a couple things first. Most of the good information that you're going to get are in these documents. I really recommend going through them and reading them. If you're confused or if you feel overwhelmed with complexity, or like you have that empty box syndrome where you like don't know what to do, or like there's so many options, I don't know what to say. I made these documents for that to make that easier. When you're working with a complex model for the first time, especially one that you haven't built yourself before, it's going to be overwhelming in terms of like you're gonna see so many things that you haven't seen before. Maybe there's a lot of different possibilities. It can get a little cluttering at first, right? But as you get through it, it becomes a lot easier to manage. Okay, so in particular these documents, right? The lexicon is going to define the specialized terms and the heuristic model that M5 is modeled around. So if you follow my work, you know I do a lot of work with heuristic models and specialized heuristic models for prompt engineering. So most of my solutions have specialized heuristic models made specifically for them, which allows it to work so well. So if you haven't seen this before, you're probably not going to recognize a lot of the terms. I would recommend going through that and getting familiar with it. This is a pro tip. When you're working in a specialized environment that was designed through these kinds of methods, one of the most powerful ways to use it is by using similar terminology, as it will trigger a lot of advanced behavior automatically, okay? So just keep that in mind. It's not required, just something to know. Other than that, for everyday users, I would really recommend going through the M5 user manual. And then if you're more experienced and you're just looking to try to reverse engineer what I did, that's what the architect's manual is for, so that to make it easier for you. Now, lastly, the shot examples. Use this to like see a ton of different things that you can do with this, because basically every single input in these sets is a different type of thing that you could push to crazy limits with modeling or designing, all kinds of stuff, okay? So I really recommend trying different things with this. Honestly, you don't have to use a single command or setup or suggestion I use here at all. These are just all me trying to predict things that other people would kind of use LLMs for, but there's going to be a lot of stuff that I don't think of, right? So feel free to experiment. That's what this is for. That's what I do, because you never know what you're going to get until you try it, right? You can use this to do general mermaid diagramming, and you can also use it to organize information, throw stuff in, see what happens. It's really cool for that. So let me show you how to set this up. Okay, so I would recommend highly to set this up in a project in Claude. It makes it very, very easy to use. We can go ahead and call this M5. I typically don't even put anything there. All right, so it's very, very simple. So all you have to do is just come over here and grab the core model file, drop it in the project files, okay? So it's gonna be about 60% of the knowledge size used, which is pretty big, but it's still a lot to use. Like you can probably get another 50 to 100 turns in here easily with the amount of size that's left. So with this loaded in, your project is good to go. Your M5 system is set up. That's the entire setup. All you have to do is before you use this, you need to prime it for one step, okay? If you don't prime it first, it's not gonna work properly because the prime in the first step is what trains most of the behavior in the process of doing it. It's how I typically set up my solutions. So it's really not a big deal. All you need to do is type in !start M5, enter, okay? This is going to set up the system and it's going to synthesize the main menu for you as well. So give it a little bit to load because it's a large file. And then once it does, you'll start to see what's going to happen, okay? All right. So as you can see, the menu is generating now. And as it's doing this, it's also learning what it needs to do at the same time, which is really cool. Okay, so there you go. M5 is now primed. You are completely ready to use this to your heart's content. So I have coded in 2 types of interaction modes to make it easier for people to start to interface with this at first. You should not feel restricted to using either of these, but if you do use these, there's a lot of behavior pre-trained that makes it easier for you to get stuff done, okay? So the easiest way to use M5 is just to ignore all of this and then just type in whatever you want, right? Pretend like you're starting, like pretend you just opened up chat and you're typing in your prompt now. It's the exact same thing now. This is a new 0 point for where you can work from. And what's nice about Claude is that you can edit responses and you can start new conversations inside the project whenever you want, right? So I can always come back here at any point and be like, okay, let me start a new thing. So the 2 different ways to use M5 are the co-creative autopilot mode and the advanced mode. So co-creative autopilot mode is basically going to activate if you just type in a normal query or a prompt or something without any other syntax or something like that, right? So if I was like, I want to model the regions of the brain that are related to human vision. Some random thing I thought of right now. I don't know why I'm thinking of that right now, but that's the first thing that came in my head. All right. So basically, no matter what you put in here, it's going to activate the M5 behavior, right? And no matter what you put in there, it's going to start modeling and mapping and creating diagrams to fulfill your wishes, basically, right? And this is the beauty of this, is that you can do open-ended things, very, very, very simple prompts. You don't have to know prompt engineering. The only thing you need to know is how to type, right? That's the cool thing about these systems. You don't have to have prerequisite knowledge to use these. Like, look how cool that is. This is why I still use this today, right? You can have a list of tasks. You can throw those tasks in, and all of a sudden you have a completely organized task management system just like that. There's so many different ways to use Mermaid. And the thing is like, I've been using Mermaid with LLMs for years now because I found out originally pre-Turbo that it was an incredible way to just transfer knowledge to an LLM in a way that is hard to typically explain with words, right? For example, like if I have a list of tasks and I give it to an LLM, all that's doing is just giving a list of tasks, right? However, if you had that same task list in Mermaid, there's so many different things you can easily do to provide more information, right? Like connections, you can containerize it. Just look at this graph, for example, right? You can see all the different types of things that you can do with it, right? That's just one. It went ahead and did 3 of them for me here. Here's a mind map. You can't tell me that's not cool. I've been using this stuff for a year now, and it still blows my mind every single time I use this. But anyways, so that's just one completion of M5, okay? And that was the open-ended one. So the advanced mode, real quickly, is a mode that allows you to granularly control the behavior, okay? Now, it's hard to describe this in text, the flexibility you have with this, but all you really have to do is just, let me show you here. Instead of just typing in a normal natural language query, the only difference you do is instead you first type !M5, and then you can type the same prompt here, okay? You don't need to add those brackets. I want to show you why I did that. All right, this is the .M5 because this applies a master functor to anything that you put in here. So what you can do is you can start to, if you look at the example up here, what this does, right? You can start to granularly like dictate exactly what it's doing, right? So instead of just having some open-ended thing, sometimes you don't know what you want to do, but sometimes you do know what you want to do, right? Maybe instead of having a random mapping of the brain like I just did, maybe I actually want to do something useful, right? So what would I do here? I do model, right? And then you can add parameters here, or you can just add a regular prompt, right? That's the cool thing. Granularity high. I want this to be very detailed, okay? So I'm just going to add one parameter here so that way you guys can see, and that's it, right? So now I'm going to type my prompt. Create a task management system for an everyday person. All right, so since I did the M5 advanced mode functor, right, what should happen here is that it triggers that new mode and gives a different type of completion as a result. Let's watch that happen. All right. See how it said it was engaging the master functor there? It's exactly what it's supposed to do. And see what it's doing now? See how it's doing the back-to-back completions? That's the point. Look at these diagrams now. I'm not sure what to say. It's beautiful. It always is. Dang, that's really good. Well, I couldn't have hoped for a better example to showcase this to you guys. M5, you did an amazing job, bud. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this announcement video and this little tutorial of how to use this. I'm really excited to release this. I hope you guys enjoy this. Since I don't have a video for Ascension coming for public this week, I decided to do something better and just give you guys a proper solution to finally play with. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to get you guys something outside of insiders. I really needed the time to test and refine and work with the awesome community that I have, insiders and public, to get this stuff ready. So cheers. I hope you enjoy, and get ready for the next videos, which will be showcasing the new release with Ascension. Talk soon.